This campus is super unique in the planet, not just here in Santa Rosa, but we have so many trees. It's always a big part to me to see other people from other colleges come to visit us. And one of the first things they do, they don't pay attention to us talking because they're always looking up at the trees, or they're looking at the bees, and they're looking at the grasses. And they'll say, gosh, you just have so much nature on campus in between all of your education buildings. You are so fortunate to have this.
There used to be thriving native ecosystems here where we're sitting in this building right now. And so taking these places on campus and restoring native plants to those spots is really important. Both in terms of, again, in terms of just not just acknowledging the land stewardship by the native people who have stewarded these areas for thousands of years, but actually to put some of these plants back and continue to steward those plants is important, and then that just trickles up.
My mom was part of the Sonoma County Native Plant Society, and what they do is they organize these hikes where they go to different areas in Sonoma County and experience different biomes. So let's say it's raining out, you want to go see a riparian kind of river system and identify the plants that call that ecosystem their home. So my mom would take me on those hikes. I built upon that by doing my own kind of explorations in my local state park, Trione-Annandale State Park, where I would identify different biomes and the kind of living organisms that called it home, from the trees to the salamanders or amphibians. I took zoology and botany at the same time, and my botany professor, Jennifer Palladini, she recommended me sign up for this internship that she is leading called the Campus Biodiversity Initiative, where we kind of promote native plants on campus.
Yeah, so the Campus Biodiversity Initiative started because there were a lot of issues that came up that involved the campus grounds and the plants and landscaping and things of that nature. And there's a lot of different groups on campus who are making use of the grounds for various purposes. And it was clear that there wasn't really a central way for those groups to come together to kind of advocate for the importance of the grounds as a learning space. And so the idea of the Campus Biodiversity Initiative was to bring together interested groups, faculty, staff, students, in a way to better highlight the importance of the landscaping as an educational space for our students. In terms of native plants that students need to learn about for their classes. So I teach a field botany class, for example. Students have plants they need to learn to recognize, and a lot of those plants don't live in downtown. And so if students want to study those plants, they might have a car and be able to go hiking out in the redwoods, but they might not. And so to be able to have those plants on campus for students to be able to study from, to be able to have kind of miniature versions of ecosystems that students can study from, to give students hands-on experience with stewardship. Again, there's a lot of great organizations in Sonoma County who have internships that support students, but students who are time limited or transportation limited are not able to access those. And so trying to create opportunities for students to get that sort of hands-on learning here on campus.
Yes, students are capable of leading these major events, and yes, students are able to create major change on campus that's beneficial for native plants or just the general look of the JC.
It's really difficult in the California community college system to be proactive because the buildings are so old. The campus is about 100 years old, and so we're dealing with buildings that were built when energy and power was really inexpensive. And now that's very expensive, and so now it's kind of catch-up time. And so working within sustainability, for me, has always been not about being a tree hugger. It's really just making sure that all systems are operating within their carrying capacity. And that basically means that we're not compromising the quality of life for our future generations.
Once you have the native plants, then you have the native pollinators, and you have the caterpillars, which will only eat the native plants, and then the caterpillars are food for the birds, and so it all really goes back to that. We need to figure out a way to make room for wild species in urban areas.
So we have a massive participation of citizens within the county and beyond that interact on this campus. And we're fortunate enough to use it as a model, as Jenny was saying, as a model for other campuses to see by utilizing the campus as a living lab. Like, look at how we do things here. We can do things differently.
We also just want to have more green spaces where students can just be on campus, because we know that access to green space is really important for students in general, not just students, for everybody's psychological health. There's a lot of research that shows that students and people in general have lots of positive health responses, physical health and mental health responses to being in the natural world.